Imagine you want to get in the waitlist of an application, and the waitlist is 10,000 seats long, and there's a button that says log in with Solana ID. I let you join tomorrow. You become a more important account for the apps, and they will give you value in exchange for your ID. You're VIP on Solana. I want to get that airdrop. I want to get that whitelist spot for this investment DAO. With Solana ID, you can, skip the lane.
People usually come into crypto and blockchain because of the privacy, but then they miss out on all the potential opportunities.
All kinds of identity-related topics will be resolved by us, distinguishing humans from bots and AI agents, but it also goes into targeted marketing based on sovereign identity data. This is huge for the internet.
Web 2 has this down, right? They put cookies in your browsers, and they get your logins on these social platforms.
Yeah.
They have your data, and then they market to you accordingly, and they make a ton of money.
The problem here is that data is always with the monopoly. They take all the money that's being made on that data. But in crypto, we can build a system that's more self-sovereign. You are helping the user to actually really own the data, control it, and monetize it.
5 years from now, what does Solana ID look like?
The thing is, the internet is changing. So we're changing with it. And Solana ID wants to be the ad network of that future. So I think we can build the next advertisement network that is fairer to users, that respects their data sovereignty, and loops them into the monetization of things. It's about fairness, right? If something feels fair to me and feels good and right to do, that's very big. Once we conquered Solana, I think we're ready to explore wider integrations in other blockchains and even the whole internet.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go?
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is...
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.
Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you. This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Simon Molitor, the entrepreneur, tech disruptor, and blockchain expert. You are the co-founder and CEO of Solana ID, a platform identity solution that allows users to securely link their digital data footprints to specific crypto wallets. You help people take control of their digital identities and help businesses identify users to attract them with tailored rewards. Solana ID is a unique opportunity to shape the future of Web3, to create a fairer system where users, not corporations, own their personal data. Your goal is to disrupt the Web 2 attention economy that has been monopolized by big tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Amazon. Ultimately, you believe that establishing a digital layer of trust is essential for improving human interactions, and that blockchain technology can help us innovate the outdated models of the past. Simon, welcome to London Real in Dubai.
Brian, you did your homework. That was beautiful. I couldn't have said it better, actually. That was a very good, brief introduction, and I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Look, it's great to have you here. I want to start by saying that Solana ID is one of our portfolio companies here at London Real Ventures, the world's first media-powered investment firm, where our mission is to transform the world by investing in cutting-edge Web3 and AI companies while giving our partners marketing exposure across the London Real media platforms and academies. We heighten awareness, create customers, and build communities by leveraging our global audience and extensive network. Simon, we are super excited to be part of this journey with you. So let's jump in. What is Solana ID?
There's a few answers I could give you, but I give you the simple one. For now, we're the fastest growing identity layer on the Solana blockchain. Solana itself is one of the leading platforms for blockchain right now that's in the world. You have Ethereum and then you have Solana. So it's basically on the top 2 spot right now for smart contract platforms. And Solana ID is primed to be the flagship identity protocol for that platform. So all kinds of identity related topics will be resolved by us. It starts with Sybil resistancy, which is bot protection, distinguishing humans from bots and AI agents in the internet. It will become more and more important in the future. Solana ID can help. But it also goes into a very specific sector that we kind of found for us as the most fruitful business model at the beginning, which is targeted marketing based on sovereign identity data. So basically, we're helping the user, who's the data owner, to actually really own the data, control it, and monetize on top of it, while sharing that data with verifiers, basically advertisers, which are businesses built on the Solana blockchain, applications built on the Solana blockchain that are already right now thriving and are active, but they need better solutions to identify the right users in the crowd. Because privacy is great. In crypto, you have lots of it. You're completely private. But how the heck does a business do targeted marketing to a target persona, to the right customer persona, if you don't know who is behind that wallet and you don't have any data on it? And there's plenty of data on-chain. We make sense of that data. And we also help the user to set up a Solana ID profile and linking off-chain data to the same profile to enrich it. And now he becomes basically a very interesting target for a marketing budget of a company to spend money on that awareness of that user. So just trying to distinguish between, the real value adding users to the app and the ones that are just like farming or bots that you don't really want to attract, right? If you solve that problem for an application on Solana, that's very big. Once we conquered Solana, I think we're ready to explore wider integrations in other blockchains and even the whole internet.
Okay, this is powerful because like you said, people usually come into crypto and blockchain because of the privacy, because they don't want people to know who they are. But then they miss out on all the potential opportunities. Web 2 has this down, right? They put cookies in your browsers, they get your logins on these social platforms, they have your data, and then they market to you accordingly, and they make a ton of money.
It's the biggest industry in the internet. Targeted marketing is the biggest industry. Why do you think the biggest companies are Facebook and Google? Because those are the data monopolies. And we also call them identity providers in Web 2, which is funny, because they provide an identity for you, right? But they govern it, they hold it, they have all the data of your digital identity, which is the data you basically leave as a trace, the footprint you leave in the internet by navigating through all the websites where the cookies are installed, by using your Facebook profile, your Instagram profile, your WhatsApp, like all these applications that have huge traction. But the problem here is the data is always with the monopoly and with the ID provider, and they have a take rate of almost 100%, which means they take all the money that's being made on that data. But you're kind of owning it, no? At least you should. And we didn't have the tools yet in Web 2 to build a system that can solve that problem with a fairer distribution. But in crypto, we can build a system that's more self-sovereign, that is still very efficient. It's a big lift, not gonna lie. It's not an easy task to build such a company. We tried it before Solana ID, and we kind of failed. I would say we failed. We can dig into that topic as well. But with the pivot to Solana ID, what we did very well is attach a big name, Solana, to a project identity, and then use that to make more noise and establish ourselves very quickly as the flagship ID protocol on Solana, even before we had any product, right? And then people believed like, okay, they're onto something. Solana is big. Solana ID must be big, right? We kind of rode that wave, and now we're having the product. Now we have users. But we needed that bootstrap. It was a strategic smart decision, I would say.
Yeah, and once we talk about the protocol, I want to talk about marketing because, you know, in disguise, I think you're a master marketer. I think the 7 immutable laws of marketing, it always says, never be, you know, number 3 or 4 in your category, be number 1. So you're not one of many identity layers, you're the number 1 identity layer on Solana, which is one of the greatest brand names in the world. So that makes a big difference, right? It's attention. And going back to Web 2, if anybody's watching us or listening to us right now, they always say, you know, if you're not the customer, you're the product.
100%.
And meanwhile, we're giving our data away to all these companies and they're literally selling it back to us. I remember I sat down with Yatsu of Animoca Brands and he calls it digital colonialism, something that the Brits perfected, right? We roll into your country like India, we take all your resources like your cotton, then we manufacture it and we sell it back to you, literally. We take it and sell it back to you. And that's what these Web 2 companies do. And we don't even know it. And so we're walking around kind of blind, kind of like a third world country that just doesn't get it. And now Web 3 comes. It's an amazing opportunity, but it hasn't really been cracked yet, has it?
It has not been cracked. But in my opinion, personally, when I started to be aware of crypto before 2020, right? When it was already something, but still a very small niche, I looked at it and I was like, wow, I think the biggest use case for this technology will be data sovereignty. So ownership of data, true ownership of data, which is why tokens work, why NFTs work, right? Because you actually own the digital asset and no one can tamper with it. But we're talking about data that can be personal data as well. That can be identity data. And I thought this is huge for the internet. This is an internet revolution. Back then I was working in health tech and I was like, I need to be part of this because, you know, I was in my 20s, I'm still in my 20s. But I will have this chance once in a life that I can actually be part of a technology that will change the internet for the next probably 100 years, right? I'd be dead with when the next revolution comes, like the evolution of the internet. Like the next one, I'll be probably dead. So I need to be part of this one. And I made the decision, okay, I think we need to work in this field. And I thought data sovereignty will be the biggest factor that will drive adoption in that space. We haven't seen it until today. Because it's just such a heavy lift to bootstrap a platform that does that. But I think now we're closer than ever because we have the attention now from the masses on the sector itself. We have a lot of volume locked in DeFi platforms. We have a lot of active wallets on chain, on Ethereum, on Solana. There's a lot of activity and it's growing a lot. We have the capital that's flowing in. We have the attention of institutions. We have ETFs. We have so much attention on the sector. I think if we want to build innovative products now in that field, then we should do it now.
It's a perfect time. And the data you can get in Web 3 is far superior to the data you can get in Web 2. Potentially, if you look at a wallet's activity, I mean, it can tell you so much. A lot of people don't even know that when they first get into blockchain. But like, since it's a public blockchain, anybody can look at your wallet and see everything you've ever done. And so it's got a massive source of data, would be perfect for a user or a company. It's just no one's really brought it all together yet.
Yeah, not really, because at least not on the kind of consumer front. When we're talking about business models like building a targeted ad network on top of this data, right? Someone needs to make sense of this data because the sheer fact that there is a lot of on-chain data also means that there's a lot of noise, right? So you need algorithms and you need models that that are able to, you know, go through the noise, find the signal, and put it in a human readable format. So we're indexing all data on Solana, which is quite a heavy lift itself. So we look back, like you give me a wallet account, I look back to the genesis of that wallet and I see everything that this wallet did, right? And then I need to put this in a human readable form. I need to know, okay, what does this number mean? He put liquidity in a liquidity pool. What does this number mean? Oh, he bought an NFT, right? How many NFTs did he buy? What's the diversity of assets this account is holding? What is the trading history on leverage trading platforms? How many times did this person get liquidated? There's so much data which is there, but you need to put it in a human readable form and make it easy for verifiers and apps to query this data, right, through a protocol and then make decisions on top of it. And if you hear that as a user, you might think, oh, it's so public, you know, like actually it's not private, which is funny because we started the conversation by saying privacy is one of the biggest USPs of crypto, but it's kind of a pseudo privacy, right? Because you are not identified who you are. And Solana ID is not doing that as well, by the way. What we in crypto, we say we're not doxing people. That means we're not putting your personal identifiable information, which is your name, Brian Rose, or your passport number, which I don't know. But we don't put these things on chain. We put them nowhere really, where someone can read them out. But we make sense of the data verifiably that we have on chain, that we can see, which is kind of beautiful. That goes in the direction of the whole concept of zero knowledge proofs, where you know things about someone without knowing that someone, and you can make decisions based on that data.
Do you zero knowledge that data? So if I come in and I want to use Solana ID, I want to set up my ID, I start sharing with you some of my Web2 socials.
Yeah.
Do you have that compartmentalized?
Yes, sir.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Right?
We're actually working with a company that you are aware of as well,
ZK Pass,
which is ZK Pass.
another one of our investments. Yeah. Great group.
Very good team. We'll keep kind of innovating together with them on certain fields. The next thing we're going to roll out is a mobile flow to basically create your ZK proofs of your credentials from your Twitter account, your LinkedIn account, everything you do in Web2. Make a ZK proof on top of that with your mobile phone very quickly and put it in your Solana ID account. So we're going to know if you have a Twitter account, and you're also going to know how many followers you might have, or if you're above a certain threshold. We can even check your bank balance without knowing who you are and still give that verifiably true number to someone on chain, which is a nice flow because you literally have you don't need to worry about any kind of privacy implications here, because we never tell them who you are, but we tell them what you are to an extent, I would say, which is perfect. Everyone gets what they want.
Yeah, and for people that don't understand the importance of ZK, if you're kind of in the Web2 world, we hear all the time there are these data breaches. I go to websites all the time and they'll be like, oh, you better change your password because we've had a data breach. This happens to big banks. This happens to huge corporations. Yeah. So all your data is now in the hands of someone else because they didn't protect it. And so I don't like hearing that when I go to these websites. I'm like, wow, great. And but with what you're doing with ZKs, you can verify that you tick certain boxes. Yeah. It's like applying for a loan at your bank. They don't know your bank balance, but they know it's enough to get the loan. Mm-hmm. They don't know your passport number, but they know you're a citizen of the UK. And it's an incredible way forward. I'd say blockchain has really embraced ZK, and they're implementing it more.
I mean, it is a cryptographic technology. Yeah. That's been, even before blockchain were a thing, people were working on the technology behind ZK proofs. Because it is a cryptographic signature at the end of the day. It only works with moon math, what the people call. There's actually a big paper on this topic. Very technical, very complex. I don't comprehend it fully, but it does the job, right? Which is this kind of magic box where you put things in, it computes something, and it puts an output that is now verifiably true without knowing the inputs. Yeah, the system makes sense.
So I actually interviewed Professor Silvio Macaulay of MIT, who I think came up with zero knowledge proofs. He also runs Algorand. And I went to MIT, so we had a good chat about it. He was trying to explain to me how he came up with that stuff, but it was intense. Yeah, a lot of that cryptography that he was building in the 60s and 70s created what we have today. It's intense.
I need to revisit that conversation.
Yeah, super cool math. And so, okay, if I'm a user, why do I want to use Solana ID? Okay, I'm out there. I'm whatever. Maybe I'm new to the chain. Maybe I'm buying some meme coins. Maybe I'm an OG and I'm doing a lot more other, more sophisticated stuff. Yeah. And I like being anonymous. Yeah. What's the upside in coming and setting up my Solana ID with you?
Quick answer, you're VIP on Solana. You become a more important account for the apps, and they will give you value in exchange for your ID. You can squeeze out more value from your wallet. So if you're already using certain dApps and we are partnered with them, you have a better user experience with them with the Solana ID than without. You might get more points in their point system. You might be eligible for some airdrops that they do in future because of the ID you hold and the quality of it. You might be able to access early features that other people are not able to access. So there's a wide array of possible perks you can get, but those are exclusive for ID holders that either come with certain tiers and certain traits already, right? Because our ID is not, you're not setting it up once and then that's equal for everyone. No, it's an identity, it's individual, right? So people have different tiers, they have different scores, they have different credentials, right? But if you're eligible for a certain perk and a certain kind of thing that you can get on chain, then only with Solana ID. So I think the easiest way to explain it is this kind of VIP status on chain, which is interesting for people that are new to the chain, because if you're new to Solana, at least you can now bring your data from Web2 and you arrive as someone, right? Instead of a fresh wallet with no data at all, because you have definitely disadvantage if you arrive to Solana as a fresh wallet, no one knows you. Solana ID couldn't give you a good kind of on-chain score because it's empty, but you can bring your off-chain credentials. It might help you to get, a higher tier in our system and get you some perks on chain already. If you're already a Solana OG, like a user that's been on the chain for a long time. You connect a few of your wallets, you'll get a very good score, and you can get a lot of perks on chain already with the apps that you're already using.
Nice. And I can choose for my ID to be public or not with you? Or is it always private with you?
So basically, no one ever has your Web2 data, right? So that's one thing. It's a self-sovereign system. Right now, we're only leveraging the ZK proof part of things. So we literally just have a code, like a little identifier, right? But we don't have any private data. If we don't have private data, there doesn't need to be a privacy setting, really. But we're rolling out other features as well that are based on attestation and verifiable credentials. These technologies will give a bit more of depth to your data. So it's not just, are you above or below? It can actually be a more accurate data point from your Web2 journey. But these will also be in a decentralized data network, not with us. And you also have the option to toggle privacy settings on and off. So you can see your history of people that tapped into your ID information. You can see, Jupiter wanted to query some data from me, or Camino queried some data. So you see all these Solana applications that used your ID to query data, and you can say, hey, this one, I don't really want them to see my data. You toggle it off. And there's no way for us to toggle it on again because the data is with you essentially. So our kind of North Star is always optionality when it comes to data. We want you to have the option to be very, very transparent with it and then get the biggest rewards, make the most money on your data, get the most perks and so on. You're highly transparent as well. But you should have the option to decide, okay, I want to opt out and I want to keep my data for myself and I don't want this person to access it. You don't have optionality at all in the Web2 world when it comes to your data.
Right. And contrast this with another digital ID service. I interviewed Stanley Kulichev of Aave back in 21, and he went on to create this Lens ID system that some social platforms are using. But I think that's really different. I think that's an NFT that you have in your wallet, which is then therefore public. And it's, is an interesting take on it, but there was no optionality in there that I understand.
Yeah. And also it's more like a social network really than an identity system. If you really compare it strictly with Lens protocol. So you build profiles on chain, right, with Lens. But in our case, you really have the optionality and the sovereignty of your data. You can on-ramp off-chain data using the ZK proofs. It's a different setup. And then the whole pitch we built on top of the ID system, which is the targeted ad network, is also inherently different from a business model than what Lens is doing, or actually many other identity protocols is doing. Because here's the thing. I think many ID builders failed at coming up with a solution that people care about. Identity is great if you build a use case on top that people care about. But identity is useless if it's sovereign and you own the data and all those great pitches that sound so revolutionary. But if it doesn't do any job for me, right? Like what job does it do?
It doesn't give me value immediately.
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm key speaking. Like I won't use it, even if it's visionary. You have like a niche of people that are like, oh, interesting. I'm a privacy kind of maxi, I want to use it. But you need to solve a problem. Like imagine you want to get in the wait list of an application and the wait list is 10,000 seats long, right? And you want to be the next one in the line. And there's a button that says log in with Solana ID, verify as a human, verify as a core contributor to other ecosystems. Just show me that you're valuable, right? To my ecosystem. If you can prove that to me, I'll let you join tomorrow. Now I'll click that button. I even set up my Solana ID and I'll even pay $10 for it, right, to set it up. And then I get that perk. I get that job done, early access to this application. And you can copy paste this example to completely different examples. I want to get that airdrop. I want to get that whitelist spot for this investment DAO. There's so many things I want in crypto and I can't get them because I'm too late or I'm not eligible for it or whatever. With Solana ID, you can, skip the lane.
You just said something that just cut through. You said, show me that you're valuable. And if you think about it, every human pretty much all day long is trying to show they're valuable, right? By what they wear, by their accessories, by what they post on social, because the more value you can show, the more opportunities you get. And it's not a bad thing. When you go on a date, you clean yourself up and, you try to say the right things. When you want to go to a restaurant, you want the best table. When I'm pitching a company, I want them to know I'm London Real and this is our history and this is what we do and this is who I am.
Yep.
So it's like we're always trying to show how valuable we are in certain situations so we can get the most out of every situation.
It's so intangible, these things. There's no data. We're friends of data. If you can now verifiably prove that you were very valuable, it's not just like your pitch, it's not what you say, it's not what you make me feel. Those are all intangible things. I want the data. I want to click a button and see, oh, wow, this guy has a big history on chain. He has these credentials in his wallet and so on. It just takes one wallet for me to verify these things, and they're verifiably true because of the tech we're using, and you get the job done. Right?
Yeah, in a world where there isn't much communication. Like in the Web3 world, I mean, I can't even associate a wallet with my social media scores. Well, except with you, I can. But right now, there's no way, even if I was trying to provide intangible value, I would be, judged by my wallet and what my history was. So now there's an opportunity. And again, you said VIP. This is interesting. How many of us have had an experience where you walk up to the front door and there's a line somewhere, a restaurant or a club, and the owner or the bouncer comes out and lets you in first? Like, everybody wants that feeling. Right? I got a restaurant I go to in Blue Water, and I go there all the time. And when I go there, everybody comes there, shakes my hand. They give me the best table. The other day, I sat at a 6-person table and had dinner myself.
Yeah.
And
you had your steak.
Yeah, and they know I'm a good customer. Yeah, they know I spend well. And so everyone wins because I feel really good. I get really good treatment. And then the business wins because they get a regular high-value customer.
Yeah. And in the real world, that works well. They see your face, they know who you are.
Right.
But in crypto, you log in with your wallet and they don't know who you are and what you are and what you did in the past. Right now, at least, there's no system really. We're still early in crypto, even if people say different. We're still early in the tech part of it, right? We're still at the frontier of technology here.
Yeah.
So there's ways for us to innovate, and there's ways for us to build infrastructure systems like Solana ID that will be leveraged by a lot of apps throughout the internet in future. So sometimes when people ask me, like, where does this lead to? Where do you go? Just imagine you invested very early on in Google AdSense, what they do now. Because they do something similar, if you think about it. They help projects in the internet, B2B customers, to target the right people based on the data they collect, right? We're just building that system with a bit more honesty and fairer because we loop the user in. But we're building a similar system where we help apps on Solana to identify, the creme de la creme of the users and to track them to their application. And you can build a big business on top of it. Like, it's highly scalable.
And on the blockchain, there's a lot of reasons to have that identity. Like you said, whitelisted on projects, getting you access, getting you perks, getting in the front of the line. You're like, I should be in the front of the line because I'm a whale, I'm a player, whatever. But try explaining that to a whitelist. They don't care who you are. No. So this is a way.
DM the founder and ask for, like an exception, like very manual processes.
Right.
So
there's another ID system out there called Mochaverse, and Mocha is rolling out. We're actually investors in that too. But tell me what you see there versus what you're doing as well, because those are the only two identity systems I know.
Bluntly,
how do you get out of a rat race? How do you create wealth not only for yourself, but also for the generations to come after?
I am absolutely amazed with the quality of companies that we're getting exposure to.
We go on to Zoom calls with the innovators and the folks who are building new applications in metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, decentralized finance.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me.
We are focusing on early stage investment.
And the quality of people that we're getting exposure to, whether it be Dan Tapiero with 1RT, Jason Ma from Open, Yatsu from Animoca.
It's been a phenomenal experience thus far. It has far exceeded my expectations.
We are focusing on cutting edge technologies.
I view it now as the best investment I've ever made. The upside I view is unlimited.
And as a retail investor, I would never get this exposure anywhere else outside of Investment Club.
See you in the Investment Club.
Speaking, I've sat on a table with the team and we talked about overlaps and how can we integrate with each other. And because there's overlaps, obviously, they're building an ID system for their ecosystem. We're building an ID system for the Solana blockchain. We can merge the worlds together. We can have some overlaps. We can share some data from our user base to your user base and vice versa. So I think we can build streets here that we can leverage. We're not competing because we're in a completely different niche. And also the tech stack is different right now. But I think I see those projects as potential collaborative partners for us than competitors. They're not inherently right now.
Excellent. We talked about the consumer side. Let's talk about the business side, because how can a business plug into this? What do they get from this? Yeah. Obviously, with my restaurant or club analogy, what the business really wants are the big spenders, because that's what probably gets most of the profits of a business. So they want to know who the VIP people are as well.
Yeah.
So how do they tap into the other side of that?
Let's break it down in kind of proof of concept stage where we are right now and kind of some tangible use cases that we already rolled out. And then about the kind of next steps and the vision and where this leads to. There's like two answers to the question. Where we are today, status quo. We built a user base of 20,000 users approximately that signed up, and they got something we call the Solana ID priority pass. So it's an NFT that you hold. There's already some off-chain data linked to it, And the 20,000 user base is divided into tiers, 1, 2, 3, 4. The tier 1 is very exclusive, 1,000 accounts only, and was very hard to get in there. It was kind of competitive because you could do certain things, connect social media accounts, collect some badges on Discord, behave well, right? Have a good on-chain score, and then you get in that first tier. People were fighting to get in there, right? Because they knew there will be some rewards, there will be some benefits. And that's what we do now. We get approached literally by projects. Can we do an airdrop to your user base? Can we give you money? Can we send our tokens to your users because we want the creme de la creme to hold our token? So we did that just like 2 weeks ago. We did an airdrop of a meme coin to the top, I think, 10,000 approximately in the 20K list. So they kind of used our tier system to airdrop the tokens to the right accounts. They tried to identify people that, if they catch the attention of the project, will hold onto the token, maybe buy some more, but more importantly, talk about it. Talk about it on Twitter with their friends and so on. We help them to identify these people. So that's, I think, a very tangible example because it's literally live. Like we did that, people claimed their tokens, everyone was happy, right? Cool. The project got like a spike in media mentions when we did that because people talked about it on Twitter.
Right. I just got dropped this. Did anybody else get this?
Exactly.
That kind of thing, yeah.
Right. Reposted our tweet and so on. So we did some announcement around it as well. Now, where this leads to is a much more sophisticated campaign strategy where you have almost like a Facebook business manager for a D-app where they log in an admin portal and they can tell us, look, what kind of user do I want for my chain, for my project, for my protocol? What am I looking for? This user needs to hold a certain amount of stable coins. This user needs to have done a certain amount of volume with liquidity provisioning services. So we're basically looking for behavior data of that user, and they give us the exact data points. And then we can tell them out of the set of 15 million wallets that we queried so far and indexed on the Solana blockchain, 1 million wallets are in your criteria set. This is your target audience. We identify this, similar to Facebook Business Manager. We can even create lookalike audiences. We can say, okay, these people did that, but we also have these people. I think they could behave similar to these people. We can come up with these solutions. And now all we need to do is to help these DApps to reach those accounts. So either those people already have set up a Solana ID and we have a way to them. They gave us their email address because they want to get informed when they have perks. Maybe they connect with some social media accounts. Maybe we have the Telegram bot out that gives you personal news when you need them. We need to reach these people, but we will help the DApp to identify the target audience based like inside of the noise of crypto, and we'll help them to reach out to them and build this kind of custom campaign. And now, for once, we can spend marketing budget in crypto in a targeted way instead of just throwing it around and seeing what works, because that's basically what the apps have been doing in the past couple of years. There's a lot of Web3 marketing techniques, if you want to say so, that are highly inefficient. Like we came up with a number when we did some research that the customer acquisition cost is 6 times higher in crypto to acquire one customer than in Web2. And it's because of that, because there's no way to target your audience really. Okay. And you're just throwing out money and then you see who comes, right? And then the biggest problem, the people that come are sometimes not the people you want. So you attracted them, you spent money on acquiring them, but then they fuck off again. Right. They're not staying.
So maybe even hurt you.
Maybe they're even bad actors.
Right. Or dumped your airdrop and caused problems. So those are the 2 phases of your business model.
Yeah. So right now we've concluded the POC, the proof of concept. We're actually shortly before launching the Solana ID beta version now, where people can create their Solana ID, where we can further bootstrap our B2C side of things and bootstrap ID holders. And once that is live and we're getting some traction on it, we'd start building out the B2B platform, like the actual dashboard, because that will help us to scale much quicker than doing these custom pilots with businesses that we're doing right now. Right. We have a group chat and what can we do with you? And we set up some custom campaign with them and so on.
Right. Those don't scale.
I mean, difficult, right? You need a big sales team or whatever. It just makes no sense. You need your docs, you need your portal where you can just send the business to, or they don't even have to reach out to us, right? They can just go there, log in with their account, create their account, and then, set up a campaign, right? And click all the buttons and reach out to the right people through our system. And then we can just, let the business thrive.
Okay, nice. So that's the B2B side. How do you scale the consumer side? Because you want to go from 20,000 to 100,000 to 2 million.
Yeah, I mean, you give them more perks, right? You just tell them the story. That's how we got the 20K, right? Out of nothing. We just told them you're going to get something in return for starting with us now, right? There's going to be perks. So our job is just to make the Solana ID attractive as an identity credential on chain. So you need to want it. You need to feel like you're missing out on something. And we made that work very well in this 20K list. We get so many people asking us, can still get the priority pass? Can I buy some? Like, no, the campaign is closed. The passes are soulbound. You cannot transfer them. You cannot sell them, obviously. It's an ID object. So we just need to increase that kind of FOMO and scarcity around the Solana ID. And we have some, good marketing campaigns with this that, are a bit exclusive to make sure that we get the next milestone, which is for now 100,000 user signups, so 100,000 ID holders, which will be the next kind of wave that we're getting in a kind of short term.
Okay. What's a solid score?
Well, the solid score is your snapshot of your on-chain activity that you did. So everything you did on-chain, a big algorithm that we've built, we run it through. We're querying right now more than 35 criteria on-chain, and we're building it out constantly. So at some point, it will be more than 100 probably. And then you get a human-readable score from 0 to 1,000, and you're somewhere in between. And we can use that as a very easily queryable number for apps to make a decision on should we give them an airdrop or not. So it's kind of the easiest way to interact with our protocol is just querying the solid score. If you want more custom data, if you want credentials, if you want a specific set of data, you use the B2B platform that's going to be there later, where you can create your own set of criteria, right? Or right now you just hit us up and we help you to customize the flow. But right now the easiest way, the score is live, like we have it. It's going to be part of the Solana ID beta, and we're very short actually right now. Every day we're working on it to wrap it up because it's going to be used in the next 2 weeks by people. They log in with their wallet, they get their score.
Now, can I find out my own solid score?
For sure. I just log into the page. Yeah.
Can I change my solid score?
You can improve it.
I can.
Yeah.
How?
Just be more active on chain, right?
Okay.
You'll see a breakdown.
Okay.
So you click on an expand button and you see a breakdown of your score, and you see basically why do I have 300 of 1,000 right now? Why am I there? And you see the different categories, and you see, oh, I'm not so active in liquidity provisioning, right? Maybe you have like, oh, I have a different wallet account that I do liquidity provisioning with. You add it to your account, you add the second wallet, you have a new score, right? It might be better already. So you can do these things. Later on, you'll be able to use your off-chain data as well to improve the on-chain score a bit.
Like bank account balances and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow.
So create all those credentials using the CK proofs. In the first model, in the beta that we're launching right now, because at the time we speak right now, we're literally, before the first actual product launch. So quite early in the journey, if you say so. In the first beta that we're launching, the off-chain part is not going to be reflected in the score.
Okay.
It's only your on-chain footprint.
I've never heard of another ID system incorporating non-blockchain data. Like I've never heard anyone say that.
Yeah.
Like a credit score or a bank balance or whatever. But that's cool.
We're building businesses on chain. They need data. How do they get the data off chain? They don't right now. If you want to give it to them without doxing your wallet, there needs to be a system. And Nationalities is building that system. We're not stupid. We're not the only one, right? If you're the only one, you might be stupid. So there is others out there. I think the best one that I can tell you would be Gitcoin Passport on an EVM on Ethereum. So people can look that up. They've been around for a long time. They're very focused on bot protection, not the kind of business model we are building on top of it. But they came up with a pretty decent system, which is kind of similar. They have some off-chain credentials as well in their system. But that's pretty much it.
Okay, and I can also increase my VIP status on Solana ID by uploading more of my Web2 data. So if I give you my Twitter account and my YouTube account.
All flow into the same.
And that'll just give me a little bit more perks.
It might be, right? Because you'll see what kind of benefits you get on Solana. And the more data you have in your account, the more perks might pop up there. Because we might have an app that says, we only want people with 50,000 followers and more, right? For this specific thing that we do.
Right.
And now you have access to it. So it's almost like a membership that you have for an exclusive kind of circle, right? And only people in that circle get the perks and the benefits.
It's very cool. Let's talk about bots real quick, because this is something a lot of people talk about, but I don't think anyone really understands the scale of it. You know, Elon famously almost didn't buy Twitter because of the bot activity. You know, he got in, and I think he got it on the inside, and he saw that, I don't know, a third of the traffic was bots or something. I don't know what it was, but it was high, and he tried to back out of the deal. Now, thank God they forced him to do the deal, but he overpaid, and he knows he overpaid, but I'm really glad he did for freedom of speech reasons, but he did. There's obviously a lot of bots in blockchain. Look, the Ton ecosystem is amazing, and Telegram is amazing, but a lot of people believe there's a huge chunk of bots there. But here's something nobody likes to talk about. There's a massive number of bots in the Google ecosystem. I spent millions and millions of pounds on ads. And when I ran my mayor campaign, I was jamming. And I was doing like people in the London physical area. But I am confident that there's so many bots in the Google system. And it's a dirty secret that Google doesn't talk about. and they basically charge us a 30% premium for all your ads because they're going to nobody. And so here I am targeting people that live in the greater London area to vote for me.
Yep.
But I know at probably a third of those were bots. And so this isn't just a problem in Web3. It's actually a problem in Web2 that no one likes to talk about. And the companies don't like to talk about it either because it's part of their business model.
They make money on it. No?
Yeah, and that's what I think a lot of people in Web2 who spend money on advertising don't even realize this. And it's frustrating because you kind of assume it wouldn't happen. So it's like, wow, I'm targeting the lookalike audience. I'm targeting people with over 60K in income. They come to my website, they don't do anything. Well, I wonder why, because a lot of them are bots. So talk about how important this digital identity is, because we're looking to a future where there's going to be more bots, there's going to be more AI, and defining a real person is going to have a significantly increasing value.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And here's the thing, before I give the answer to the question, we're not trying to kill bots and agents, right? Because I think they will dominate the internet either way. And the thing is, with crypto, the bots start to have money accounts. So they're able to spend money. So we don't really want to cut them out.
Right.
We actually just want to
You don't dislike bots, just bot behavior or bad bot behavior.
If they're symbols, which is the word that we use in crypto, because it is usually used when someone is creating a large set of wallets. Okay. You know, usually bots automated things, and then they just spam your system.
Sybil.
SYBIL.
Which is short for
Sybil attack. I don't even know what the English word means.
So it's kind of bad actor bots.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
well said, because there are good bots out there.
Exactly. They do transactions.
They have funds now.
Especially with AI, like with the agent economy, you get actually bots that are smart. They know what they do, and they now have private keys to a crypto account. They can spend money, and they can make decisions on spending the money. I know. So just think a few years ahead, right? That's why I say we not want to kill that economy. We have nothing against it. We just want to help apps to make sense of the data and to identify who's human, who's agent, right? That's already a question that I would like to answer for myself and for my business. And then how can I attract both of them? And what do I need to do that, right? So if we can help you to acquire the agents that will spend money on your platform, go with it, sure. And that will be possible as well. But we kind of need this way to identify who's actually a human, who's behaving like a human as well. And there's things you can read on chain that give you data on that. So we can do that. So it's basically just based on the footprint you leave, we can give an estimation on, is that possibly a human or possibly bot behavior? So that's not bulletproof, but it gives you an estimation of it. You can already make a decision based on that data, and it's kind of easy to come up with that. What's harder is to really have a bulletproof system that says, okay, this must be a human. For this, I need human interaction. I need the human to do something. So in our system, they need to set up their ID.
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met his CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
And they need to start to on-ramp some off-chain data, right? Because then they are verifiably human, especially as soon as they, for example, attest that they have a KYC check in Binance. Right? If you do a attestation or a ZK proof on top of that data point, you're most likely a human, right? You have that in your data backpack. So as we're bootstrapping the ID holder set in Solana ID, we're also bootstrapping the amount of verifiable humans, and then we can use that data to market to them if apps prefer that.
Wow. Okay. We got to take a moment and just understand that there's actually agents out there. Like, what is it? AI16Z, which is like the play on Andreessen Horowitz, has its own fund and its own agent, and it's out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's completely independent, but it's throwing around $10-20 million a clip.
I'm pretty sure there's human intervention.
I think so too.
I've heard a lot of smart people say that.
Right.
So without being too deep into the actual tech behind A16Z, the agent, I think it's the tip of the iceberg still. So even if that one is not doing like pure agent behavior, there will be one in the near future.
Yes.
So I think that's the smart.
But you could identify good robots or high value robots, just people, and you might want the difference between the two. Because even if there's a bot who's throwing around, more investment than your big whale, there are people in your B2B ecosystem that will say, that's all great, but I need a human.
Yeah. So if you can grab that data from us, that's cool. But we just don't, we want to use the same system we use for humans also for agents.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.
Dubai real estate is exploding, and the biggest money is being made where almost nobody is looking, in premium luxury transformation projects that have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. For years, these opportunities were locked inside private networks. You never saw them. You never had access until now. I've spent 15 years on Wall Street and 5 years studying Dubai up close. And today, for the first time ever, you can invest directly alongside my team. We have just received a brand new project with real potential for outsized returns. And early allocations always fill fast. Click the link and apply now. Your opportunity starts today.